Okay, can everyone see and hear me now? Just trying to see if this is going to work. We're having some issues today, but it's all right, we'll sort it. Okay. Okay, I think we're on. Exciting. Okay. I had a webcam here that decided not to work. And then I had my microphone here that also decided not to work. So I'll have to have my tech team in here to try and work out what happens with that. Anyway, so we're on. Great to see you. Hello, Derek. Hello, Felicity. Great to see you. And Terry, I know you're on as well because you let me know that you can see me. So great to see and hear you, finally. I've got a great Team Leader Toolkit webinar today. So it's all about one-on-ones. And I'm getting a echo in my ear. I'm going to have to take that off. Okay, so if you've got any questions, thoughts, queries at any point during this webinar, please feel free to make sure that you put those on your comments bar so that I can answer them as soon as we need. All right, so without any further ado, now we've got over that kerfuffle, I'm going to share my screen with you. So bear with me. Share. Okay. Live coaching, how exciting. We're going to talk about today the importance of one-on-ones. Now, I've gone into a lot of workplaces and there has been a bone of contention with one-on-ones. They end up being a box-ticking instance rather than something that's really, really worthwhile. So what the importance of a one-on-one is that you as the leader can learn from your team. It enables you to determine what the opinions are of your team, and it helps your team members ask for support, gives them an opportunity to ask for support that they may not normally ask. The other thing, it allows you to tell your team that their efforts are making a difference, you know, that they're going to get the recognition and praise that they deserve. And it allows their team member to be the best that they can be, so they can get the most out of themselves. So they can come to you if they need support, if there's roadblocks, if there's bumps in the road, if they feel that they need extra support in certain areas. And it also helps you enable the team to reach their goals and maybe even their career aspirations. Maybe they've got career aspirations that you can support them with as well. So there's lots and lots of important reasons why we need to have our one-on-ones. And it's not just because, you know, it's written in the rules and we have to have them. They're actually a really worthwhile exercise to have. And I'm just going to give you some ideas on how to make them worthwhile. So what is a one-on-one? So it's an uninterrupted meeting between the leader and the member to discuss work and discuss the team member's well-being. So what it indicates is that you are really concerned about your team members' satisfaction at work and at home and their well-being, and, you know, making sure that they're striving to the best that they can be. Now, what I've seen in the past personally is one-on-ones being scheduled with a leader, and then that leader's got pretty busy and they move that one-on-one around and they reschedule it. And really, I want you to have that, because what that does is make the team member feel deprioritised. So if you've got a one-on-one locked in with your team member, make sure you try and prioritise that, because this is an opportunity for you and them to sit down and have a really good chat about what's going on in their head, what support do they need, what are the things that are roadblocks for them at the moment, what are their aspirations moving forward. So if you deprioritise that and go, oh, sorry, can't make that then, let's try and squeeze it in another time or squeeze it next week or whatever, the message that that's giving is that it's really not a priority for you. you, and that's kind of not what we want. All right, so let's have a look at suggested things that you can put into your one-on-ones. Now, these are just suggested topics and timeframes. I reckon one-on-one used to go for about an hour. I've seen effective ones go for 45 minutes, but usually, give yourself an hour in your planning. And a lot of times what would be the ideal is that the team member comes in and they'll be prepared. But let's face it, reality is that doesn't happen a lot of times. So it's really handy to have some sort of generic agenda. Tweak at the last minute, something more important crops up in that conversation. So these are just some suggestions around what you can have as topics and what sort of time frames. So let's have a look. So you've got lowlights, highlights. It's the last one-on-one. Any roadblocks, frustrations, any possible solutions that team member has for those roadblocks and frustrations that they may need your support with. So that could take you probably 10 minutes or so. Any results achieved, and maybe the team member would like to come in with some results that they've achieved for a particular project or task, and maybe with some examples that they can show you. That gives you an opportunity to really recognise what they've been doing. And any behaviours demonstrated. So, I mean, they might come to you and say, hey, listen, I've been helping out Joe because he's got a presentation on and he's not very good with presentations, so I've been helping out with that. So that's another opportunity for you to come in there and recognise their behaviour of supporting their team. I mean, that's a really great thing that they're doing. Okay. Thanks, Derek, for that. I will put it on my ears. I'm trying to pull it away from me because I'm getting an echo. That's okay. I can work with that. Is that working better? Let me know if that's working for you. Okay. So I keep going, and Derek, you can tell me if it's still fading in and out. Also, you can have a talk about progress against plan. So you might have some KPIs, whether it's key performance indicators or whether it's tasks, goals, all those sorts of things. So progress against that plan is really, it's going to be really, really important to make sure that you're keeping them on task. And they can tell you, what's going on with that. So progress against a plan, progress against particular objectives or tasks they might have, any support they need from you, any feedback they've got from you. Maybe they've got some feedback for you. Maybe there was something that they're really pleased about. Maybe there's something that they think could have been done differently. But that's really a great opportunity for you, the leader, to sit back and take some feedback. And the priorities for the next time before you speak again, so that over the next 6 weeks or however often you have these one-on-ones. And I would suggest at least every second month that you have these. So I think that would be an ideal sort of situation for you to have them. And it depends on the size of your team too. If you've got a huge team, then you're not going to be able to have them every month because you're just not going to run out of time, and it will become a box ticking sort of incident rather than something that's worthwhile. So you've got to think about how many people have you got on your team. Maybe some people will require more one-on-ones than others because they enjoy that mentorship and that time with you. Maybe some people are busy with once every second month because they just want to catch up and, those sorts of things. So there's some time frames. They're certainly only suggested. You might have something different that you want to do. But just remember, the team member does the talking and you do the listening. You don't need to comment directly on a question or you need to clarify something. This is really led by your team members. I've seen so many leaders enter these conversations feeling like they need to take control of the conversation. And you don't need to in this particular instance. This needs to be an opportunity for you to listen. So really take the time to hear what your members are doing, what's holding them back, how's their workload currently, what is their short and long-term plans. This is a really great opportunity for you to be able to sit back and listen to all those sorts of things and take them on. You might be able to help with the development of your team members. So if maybe they have career aspirations to move into a different area, maybe that's something you working with. So these are the opportunities you can take up to do that. So I've got here an hour, and that timing is just an indicator. You might find that varies depending on the member and what they really want to talk about. And remember, this is just, you might find some other ones that are really specific to your workplace and your people. But it's nice to have something in place, otherwise it just ends up a bit awkward to start with if you haven't been doing this. All right, let's have a look. So make sure you stick it in your Outlook and really plan for it. And as I've said before, a priority, so try not to keep moving it around. I've had some leaders, and this has happened to myself, that my particular leader in this instance, they used to change about 5 times before we ever got together. And in the end, it was like, I don't really want to do this with you because obviously you've got more to do than talk to me. So that's how it made me feel. So I would suggest that that would be something that your people would feel if you found that you were moving around all the time. So find a place that's really convenient for you both, lock it in, and try and prioritise it accordingly. Remember, as soon as you start moving them around, then it puts the message out there that you're not as a big priority as you need to be. And schedule some more time in the diary that you need. You might think you only need an hour, just an hour and 15 minutes in there. If you think you're only going to be 45 minutes, put an hour in there. And commit to those regular meetings. Like put it as a reoccurring thing in your diary so that you know that you need to come back to that and follow up with certain things. So make sure you maintain an respectful environment. So it doesn't have to be in your office. Maybe it can be in a shared space somewhere that is a bit more confidential, but out of the way, and have an open discussion. And it's not it's ground is what I mean to say. And keep a record of those discussions. Now you don't have to keep a word for word, but just the highlights, so that you've got an opportunity to follow up on the next time you get together. So when they come in next time, you can say, hey, Joe, you were telling me about that awesome project you were working on and how excited you were about it. You said you had phases 1 and 2 and you were working on phase 3. I'd really love to hear how that went. Then all of a sudden, not only do you listen to what that Joe said in the past, but you're actually excited and interested to hear what's going on in the future. And I think that's going to be something that will really make a difference with your relationship and your rapport that you get with your team. So it's something to have a think about, to prioritise it accordingly and try and get those in as much as possible. Okay, so what do we do when we have members that are really hard to get anything out of? Members, we might have team members who, really don't want to have a one-on-one, they're not interested, they're a bit introverted, maybe they're a bit shy. You can try some simple questioning techniques. So asking lots of probing, open-ended questions. And I've got an example of those on the next page, so bear with me on this one. So that's what you want to do, open questions, so they're not yes or no answers. And embrace the silence, because some people that are introverted or a little bit more shy, they take a little bit more time to reflect on what they're doing. So they need that thinking time. So if you keep jumping in on the silence, asking more questions, it's just going to bamboozle them. So really, honestly, try and take the time to embrace the silence and try not to fill in the gaps of letting somebody else have their thinking time. It doesn't matter. Silence is good. Embrace it. Let it be your friend. So making sure that you reward and recognise achievements through this too, that encourages people to keep talking. Making sure that you recognise what they've done, that you reward anything that they might have done in a really over the top, out of expectation way. Making sure you're doing that. And those probing questions are going to be really, really important. Another thing you can do for somebody who's a little slightly more introverted, or maybe they're a reflector, which means they need time to think about what they're going to say and do before they do it, is send out the agenda prior. So just say, look, I'd love to have a chat to you, Nick. I'm just making up a name there. Love to have a chat to you, Nick, for our one-on-one schedule on Friday. Really looking forward to it. this is a rough agenda that things that I'd love for you to have a chat to me about. If there's anything else that you want to chat about, please feel free to put it on there or just come in with it, and I'm happy to change that. So at least they know they've got something to start with. Yes, Flick, thanks for that. So Flick was saying that she remembers a one-on-one with a particular leader. Both of us sat in silence staring at each other, and I think she was trying to out-silence me, and there can be too much silence. Absolutely. There absolutely can. I think it's important, Flick, that we have those open-ended questions. And when we're probing for questions so many times I've seen leaders ask a question and then 2 seconds of silence goes past when they answer it themselves. So I guess it's that silence that we need to embrace, is when you ask a question, sit back, wait for a reply, and if it takes 5, 10, 15 seconds for the other person to reflect on what the answer they're going to give, well then that's okay. So, but Flick, that would have been very awkward, I can imagine. All right, so let's have a look at some of the questions that we can see, some of these, but I'm going to read some of them out. Some of them have got a funny name. I've got these from a workplace and some other internet exploring that I've done. But there's one here called the miracle question, which is interesting. So the miracle question is, if you woke up tomorrow and everything was the best it could be, what would that look like? So that's your miracle question. So you could put that one in there and see what sort of response you're going to get. And that's to encourage solution-focused thinking. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. I'm just hearing my echo in my head and I'm trying to ignore it. There's exception questions. So is there a situation where you've been able to do this well? Please tell me about one of those times. So this is where you're identifying the capability possessed by the individual. So it aims to build self-sufficiency in that person. So if they've got an issue or if they've got an area where they're struggling, you could ask this question. So there's a situation where you've been able to do this well in a different work area. Tell me about those times. What did you do differently? Then you've got your scaling questions. So these scaling questions are really good to do for somebody who is quite introverted and doesn't want to speak. So it could be, right, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being when you felt really uncomfortable and 10 when you felt the most comfortable, with achieving it best. You know, a scaling question where you've got 1 to 10 in there. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being really, really uncomfortable, 10 being really, really comfortable, how are you feeling in your current role? And all of a sudden they've got, oh, okay, I'm a 6. So, okay, you're a 6, that's great. What does a 6 look like? Oh, okay, well, you know, most of the time okay, sometimes I'm not. Okay, so what does it look like to be an 8? What differences do we have to make to be an 8? So then it goes on to other questions, if you know what I mean. So those scaling questions are good. You've got impact questions. So what impact is the situation having on you? What have you done to manage the impact on yourself? What is working? What's not working? You know, all those sorts of things. And that's trying to uncover the details of the current situation and focus on the individual of what they're currently doing. Then you've got relationship questions that you can ask. So how might others view your behaviour? What would I notice as your leader? What would your team notice? So this is trying to introduce a third-party perspective. So trying to show another angle to the situation. If somebody's catastrophizing or somebody is making a mountain out of a molehill, maybe you could come in there and say, okay, so that's what it felt like to you. What do you think that looked like to your team members? Do you think it looked the same? So it's trying to sort of de-escalate somebody, I guess, if you like. The what else questions. So these are really good if you can't think of anything else, up your sleeve. So what else can you tell me about your role? What else is working? What else can you try? What else has happened? So they're all open questions, but you're eliciting additional information. Permission questions. So these are where you're going to take somebody a little bit out of their comfort zone. So you might say, okay, I'm going to stretch you here and then provide a bit of feedback. Or you could say, can I push you here? And if they go, yeah, what do you mean? You can say, okay, Nick, you know that you're helping Joe with that presentation. I'd actually like to see you do a presentation. I think that you'd be great at it, but it's something that I haven't been doing. I'd really like to push you into doing a presentation. And if you're open to some feedback, I'd love to give you it. So, you know, those sorts of things. So you're pushing somebody out for, you know, taking them to a little bit of attention so that they can do some learning. Because people need to be pushed out of their comfort zone to do some learning. And if you've got an impact on an emergency question, if you can't think of any other question to ask, one question you can ask is, what's the question I need to ask you right now? Sounds a bit naff, I know, but I've actually used it. And about 60% of the time it's worked. 40% go, I don't know. Anyway, so it's there for you if you need it. Is there any thoughts, insights, or things that you want to comment on with regards to those questions? Any other questions that you want to share that you think would be good? I'll tell you what, if anybody wants a copy of these, I can send it to you. So I'll be happy to send it through. If you want it, just let me know. I actually have got a whole... I'm just making sure that I'm in, because I think I faded out then. Derek, I can hear that I am fading it out, so I'm going to have to get this microphone sorted. Bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so if you want a copy of those, no worries, Leanne. I'm going to write your name down so I can remember. Derek, you want a copy? Yep. No worries. Leanne. Flick, do you need a copy? I might just send you a copy, Flick. Okay. Let me go up here. Oh, Terry wants some as well. Yep. Okay, no worries. I will send those through. I actually have another one with a load of questions on it, so I'll see if I can find that and send that through as well. I think it's worthwhile. And it's nice to have those up your sleeve, you know, when you need it. Okay, I'm going to get you back now. And for some reason, I've got two little cameras up there. Anyway, every time I turn my camera on, my hair looks a mess. Anyway, there it is, one-on-ones. I'm hoping that I just faded out again, didn't I? Anyway, one-on-ones. We'll put them up on the toolkit resources. Yes, so I was just thinking to myself, Flick, that I have got about a 3-pager handout full of questions. So maybe I'll put them on in the tool suite so everybody could use them. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so that's about one-on-ones. Remember, I'm going to take this out. Remember, prioritise them accordingly. So if you've put them into Outlook in your calendar, please prioritise them accordingly. If you keep moving them around, the language and the message that it's giving is that that team member is not important to you. And I don't think either of us want that. Make sure that you have some sort of floating fluid agenda to start them with. And remember, you're going to do most of the listening and they're going to do most of the talking. If you need to probe to encourage that talking, then use those questions to probe more. It's going to be a regular thing, and it's really going to be for you to elicit information, what passions your team members have, what career aspirations they've got, what support do they need right now, all those sorts of things. Okay, so this is an opportunity for you to do that. All right. Excellent. I think we are done. Has anyone got any questions with regards to one-on-ones or any stories they want to share? Then please feel free to have a chat with me now. You can put something in the comments. And Derek, thank you about the feedback on the microphone. I have got a new one. See? But we've had troubles with it. So here it is here. And it's a good little thing, but it just didn't work for me today. So I'll speak to my tech guys and we'll get that sorted. Okay, so I think we are all good. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I just froze them for a second, I think. Okay, I don't think there's any questions. What do you think the difference between a one-on-one and a whip is? Okay, good one, Flick. So a one-on-one is specifically team member led, right? So the team member is telling them about what support they need. It's telling them about, okay, it's telling them about, just faded out again. Yes, I understand what you meant, whip. So a whip is really just catching up on, this is the project I'm doing, this is where I am, this is the task I'm currently on, this is where I am, this is what I'm hoping to do in the next couple of weeks, this is what I want to achieve. A one-on-one is more, I'm doing this project, it's really floating my boat, I'm realising this is my journey today, this is my career aspiration of where I want to go forward, and the way I want to do that is I want to be able to shadow John, who's in that same area at some point. I want to be able to go to some of the market meetings because that's an area I'm interested in. So it's more long-term, career aspirational, and things that are blocking them from moving forward now. So a whip is more what's happening, what's now, very short term, and one-on-ones is more long-term and a little bit more team member led. So I hope that should be, and they should be scheduled separately, that's right. So what I found worked is if you want to do monthly, you have a whip on every bi-monthly, and then the month in between you have a whip one month and a one-on-one the other, and really differentiate between the two. Okay, so annual performance review. I'm getting three voices in my head. Sorry, Derek. So annual performance review. If you're doing your one-on-ones on a regular basis, the annual performance review, there should be no ugly surprise. So what I'm saying is one-on-ones should have how they're going on their performance, if they've got any support they need, is there any roadblocks that are happening, is there things with their deadlines that they're worried about, do they need extra resources, all those sorts of things, so that those can be solved and solutions can be given along the way. So by the time they get to that annual performance review, it's really going to be easy. You can take the notes from all the one-on-ones that you've had through the year. You can see how the project has been progressing. You can see how all their tasks have been progressing. You can see where they've had issues and found solutions and all those sorts of things. So the annual performance review should be really, really easy. There shouldn't be any surprises in there. The worst thing I've seen is a leader get to an annual performance review, team members come in to speak to the team leader. The team leader have told them that they haven't made any of their projects or deadlines that they needed, and it's the first time they've heard about it. That's probably something that we should be avoiding. That should be a one-on-one throughout the year. So by the time you get to the end of the performance review, then there's no surprises. Pretty much everybody knows where they are. They know if they've missed a couple of things, or they know if they've, got the deadlines that they needed. So I hope that helps, Derek. And yes, Flick, they should be separately for one-on-ones and whips. And then obviously your annual performance will be once a year. All right, excellent. I think we are done. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience this morning. I will have a look at why this webcam didn't work the way it wanted to. It worked perfect last week. Maybe it's me. I'll get the guys in to have a look. And I'll get my microphone working as well, because this is a bit in and out. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your patience. And we will speak again next week. I look forward to it. See ya. Bye.